Central Louisiana begins with conversation. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
All right, good morning. Welcome back. This song is dedicated to Stephen Maxwell.
I'm back. I don't know about better than ever.
I got to get to this next little part because it's really the favorite part.
I love this song.
Where we need because we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
We got him on the spot.
That's a great song.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Stephen Maxwell, to KSYL. The long-lost, beloved, prodigal son has returned from his time in the hospital ward located or overseen by Nurse Iram. How are you doing, sir? Are you better?
I just don't have a fever. Everything else.
Oh,
This is the way these things go, you know.
I hear it. I hear it in your voice. Well,
It was a good one too.
well, and what was crazy was you were the shopkeeper for your family for a while, the nurse caretaker, and then it just turned around and bit you in the butt, didn't it?
That's usually how it goes. And I think it mutated worse by the time it got to me. So
Yeah, all your early resistance had been worn down, and it just came on with a double.
have you heard of what they call the man flu? It's like a social media thing.
I thought I had heard of that as like a fake thing, or
No, they just men are more dramatic when they get it.
oh yeah, okay,
Women.
there you go. Okay,
But I have, because my wife likes to bring that up because I'm down and out. And I was like, look, there's a biological reason. Apparently, testosterone lowers your immunity and makes symptoms worse. So there. Don't blame me, blame nature.
So all you testosterone driven,
And, you know, all that bubbling out of me has made it worse. But it was a weird virus. The virus, I've never heard of it before. So
Well,
the dengue flu, I guess.
the
So.
dengue flu. Well, we are glad to have you back. That's we missed you. I mean, I got to sit in with Al 2 days this week.
I hate bugging you.
Or 3 days. However many days
You
it was.
know?
I don't get to work with him that much. So, it's kind of a nice little change of pace. But I'm sure the callers will be happy that you're back. And because, it's just good to have back in rotation. And, of course, I'm here back on Tuesday, Thursday now. So I'm enjoying that. And looking forward to the weekend ahead. Well, I'm not looking forward to the weekend ahead. I'm actually leaving today at noon-ish to head to McAllen, Texas. My wife is from there, and her stepmother passed away. So we're headed down to the funeral visitations tomorrow night and funerals on Saturday. And so the situation there is it's a 600-mile drive. It takes about 11 hours or so with stops. And so kids get out of school today. We'll head down halfway and drive the rest of the way tomorrow and stay there over the weekends and just get to see some family and spend some time with them. You hate that it's funerals that brings you together, but the older you get, that's more commonly what happens is you.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. She's a lovely, lovely lady. She was a lovely lady. One of the most beautiful people inside and out I've ever known.
No.
And so it'll be an honor to pay tribute to her over the next couple of days. But the other thing that's kind of interesting as a caveat, I don't know how many people know, we haven't made a huge push. I need to make a bigger push, and maybe next week we can spend a little more time talking about it. But the church that I pastor is celebrating its 50th year anniversary coming up next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. And my father is the founder of the church. He pastored it for 30 years, and then I've been pastoring for the last 20 years. And so the first service that Christian Challenge ever held was on March the 9th, 1976. Well, this Sunday is March the 8th, and since I'll be out in McAllen, he's going to preach. So that means he will preach on the final day of the 50th year, kind of like a nice book in there. He preached obviously the very first sermon when I was 10 years old, and probably chewing gum like I shouldn't be or something like that.
Doing something you shouldn't.
I have gotten called out from the pulpit. I don't know if you ever did, but I tell you the worst one is when my dad said, "Son, you're getting a whipping when we get home." He said that from the pulpit. Let me tell you, there was no better behaved child in the history of the world for the remainder of that service, as I perfectly was an angel until service was over. And then I fell asleep, using air quotes, fell asleep in the car on the way home so that, hoping he would forget. He didn't forget. You ever been called out from Preacher Daddy?
More of like looks.
Oh, got the looks.
Never verbally.
How about this? Could you recognize your mother's finger snap across the church? Or did you always have to sit by her?
No. I don't think I was too bad in church.
Man, I must have been the bad one then.
No, I'm sure you're just being loud or joking
Probably
or something.
so.
And I probably done that maybe just to get caught. I used to like to run the board in the back for a while there so I could just hang out with my friends.
Well, sure. That was always good.
But I was, dude, and you know how this is. Baptists have Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday, and then all the stuff between. I went to every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Absolutely.
No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
If the doors are open, you're going to be there. That was the
funerals too. I go for the most part.
So. The one I hated the most was Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, just when Walt Disney and Mutual of Omaha were coming on, and we had to go to church. Like, I don't want to miss this.
The only thing I was really upset about was Cowboy evening games. I'd have to miss the second half. He would not let me stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave you a love and appreciation for them because you might not have appreciated them if you had all of them.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I was pretty upset about it.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. So again, just glad to have you back. You still did a little work while you were home. How'd you do that? How'd you do that TJ Maxx story? Was that one you had in the can or?
Well, no. This is what sucks about this. Is the one thing bad about this job is if I don't do it, nobody else can do it, and then I have a certain quota that we have to meet. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do sheets that I know I don't have to be around somebody.
Yeah, that was
and I literally just drove to Pineville, filmed myself for 2 seconds, and drove back home. You know what I mean?
Well, I know there was a lot of people.
Yeah. And then
But your voice sounded good. Did you?
Yeah. It sounded horrible.
No, it sounded okay.
Probably blew my nose or something there, but no, it was something and then some other stuff I have in the bag. And yesterday I went to Dr. Carell because the fever broke when I woke up yesterday. Whenever I called you called out the night before, I was like 102. I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
So
I told everybody 104 just to make them feel sorry.
Oh, that's good. 102 is bad. 99 is bad for me. I'm like down and out like a little baby. So.
Well, I knew you were bad. I told Al this, maybe even said it on the air. I knew you were really feeling bad when you had the Carell story hours and hours and hours before it broke. And I heard it break at the North Rapids Business Industry Alliance meeting when Melinda Anderson shared it as part of the roundtable. And so, okay, it's official. So I figured I would see your post. And I didn't see your post for like 5 or 6 that evening. KLB had it, others had it. And you were, so I'm like, he's not feeling well for him to sit on that.
I was down and out throughout the day for sure.
Had you been embargoed with that? Is that they asked you to hold off to a certain time?
I knew about it that morning, and I would have felt comfortable posting it, like from an accuracy standpoint.
Right.
But I don't want to like jump the gun.
Sure.
Carell wasn't ready to like publicly announce it to like.
Well, he didn't even publicly announce it until much later.
Yeah, so I didn't. I asked, and he's a busy guy, and I didn't hear back till later in the day, and then I saw that it was ready to be posted because I got beat, but I could have posted it.
Right.
I just try to give people respect.
Well,
and like I don't need to break story that bad.
And I think that's why people like you. That's why people like you because they know you're going to show respect.
When I use the
word
embargo,
that's something that does happen in the news world where
you'll get
news information ahead of time. They'll say, but you have to hold it till this time at this date time.
Oh, I got a tip. So
yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
I mentioned he had said something
at the last LSUA game, home game at the Fort, that when I look back now, that was his way of letting me know he was going. But I just didn't, in the moment, didn't read into it. So
I think he just wants to hunt and fish.
Well, and be with the family, and be with the family, and do some more retreats. He's really, his faith is really important to him. And I tell you, he's one of the most genuine people I know. I mean, there are good people out there. And he's just one of them. Yeah, I have never, ever heard the negative thing about him, never seen him. I'm sure he's gotten upset. I've never seen it, even if he has been upset, he's very controlled. So
And him and Jimmy too.
well, that was exactly what I was
Oh,
about to say. Those two guys were such a great team. And of course, they teamed up with Jeff Powell quite a bit. I see them having lunch all the time together. Not all the time, but at least once a month they go together. And they said that was intentional, building those relationships. So
I can't remember if this was on the record or not. So maybe I shouldn't say it. See, I have fever thoughts.
well,
But
I'll let you go.
they're going to do a national search, of course, and this decision comes to Dr. Roos, the new LSU president. He solely makes that decision. They might have like an advisory board, but it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, you were probably completely out of it. I don't know if you listened to some of the show, but Dr. Roos was there Sunday at the LSUS championship game at the Coliseum.
Very cool.
And at halftime of the game, he came out along with Dr. Carell and Dr. Bob Smith from the LSUS system, all three of them out in center court. And, of course, everybody applauded them.
Very nice.
But for him to come up from Baton Rouge for that game, of course, the LSUS women's team won the championship, and then the LSUS men's team won the championship. But he was going to be a winner either way, LSUA, LSUS, he hit both of his systems. But for him to come up, that was a very nice thing.
That's pretty cool, honestly.
It really was.
Yeah.
So, well, good deal. Hey, guys, we got a great show today. Coming up at the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by, I've said it often, the inimitable Matt Ritchie, who will be bringing us the Central Louisiana Economic Update. He gave the great update Monday at North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance meeting, which was a very broad meeting, gave a lot of background and history. Here on this show, he normally talks about things that have happened in the last couple of weeks and happenings that he sees coming up soon. He couldn't be with us on his normal day, Tuesday, as he had to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, I think at 10 a.m. that morning. There was no way to do the show from 8 to 9 and in Charlotte at 10. So he bumped back till today. He'll be with us from like 8 to 8:45-ish, and then he's got to bug out for the STAR committee meeting that meets at 9 at Rapids Area Planning Commission. I'm sure he'll tell us a little bit about that and why it's important for him to be there. So that's coming up at 8 o'clock. But until then, it's going to be open lines for your phone calls, 318-442-8255. We've got lots of things that are happening around the world and around the state. We'll talk about them when we come back on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Things are being handed out at Morgan Stanley. The Wall Street giant laying off about 3% of its global workforce, which is approximately 2,500 workers. Employees in a number of divisions are targeted, including investment banking and wealth management operations. Sources tell us the cuts are tied to individual performance, as well as changes in its business priorities and efforts to keep a lid on expenses. Checking on your money, stock futures are looking at losses this morning. Oil continuing its climb on all of the disruptions to the energy markets from the war in the Middle East. Crude is rising to $77 a barrel. And the owner of the New York Stock Exchange is investing in a cryptocurrency exchange. Intercontinental Exchange is acquiring a stake in OKX. The transaction comes about a year after OKX agreed to pay roughly $500 million in
And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. Welcome back. I can't sing it as well as the theme song of the Welcome Back Cotter, but we do want to talk about some things happening around the state that are happening in the news that you might be aware of. Yesterday, Al made the comment, and I had this funny text exchange with Al and Steve last night about the Ralph Abraham endorsement of Julia Letlow, where he had originally reached out to John Fleming, offering him his CDC position if he wanted it, if he'd get out of the Senate race, and he didn't. The next thing you know, Abraham is signing on as a campaign advisor for Julia Letlow. And what was so hilarious about that, you know how it is when you're on that side and this guy is talking, you're typing, so I didn't pay attention to everything Al says. So the story I sent you two guys was literally the thing that he had read on the air. But he speculated yesterday, Al did, that Governor Landry might endorse Julia Letlow. Well, true to form, Prophet Al was right. He weighed in yesterday.
Oh, let's not go too far.
Okay. All right. Well, Al was right. Prognosticator, how about that?
Maybe so.
Newscaster, famed newscaster. Al was right. Landry has weighed in on the race. He aligns himself with President Trump, and he gave his endorsement to Julia Letlow, which was not a huge surprise to a lot of folks. A lot of people knew behind the scenes Landry supported Letlow. He had been working behind the scenes with the administration about the endorsement. He's the one who pulled for the endorsement from Trump. And I don't know if this is going to prevent a runoff, but it will help Letlow, who has been in that second place slot. And the stream of conscious thought about it seems to be that, I think Fleming's in first place, Letlow's in second, and Cassie's in third. Sometimes Letlow's in first. I've never seen a poll where Cassie's in first place. Have you?
Not that I know. I haven't really paid attention yet to the polls.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, of course, John Fleming's not happy. He's blasting Landry's endorsement. He's talking about, he gave that information about Abraham offering his position to try to get him to end the campaign. And it's just going to be interesting to say if Abraham did make that call, that's kind of odd. I mean, it's not odd. That's just politics for you. But I really thought Abraham was above that. So,
well, Letlow's his guy. Remember? Letlow was his campaign manager.
I totally forgot that. Luke,
like they're super close.
Okay, well then forgive me for that. You're right. I'd forgotten about that.
Oh,
okay.
He was his campaign manager, and that's who we communicated with all the time to get a hold of Abraham.
How did I forget that?
Oh.
Okay.
So I think they're pretty tight.
Well, that makes a lot more sense then. On other semi-local news, in a difficult case to report upon, the former mayor of DeRidder was found guilty of having sex with a minor. Yesterday, the jury deliberated for, I don't even think, an hour when they arrived at their verdict. So Misty Roberts, former mayor of DeRidder, has been found guilty as charged of carnal knowledge with a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile, both of whom are felonies. And so we'll have to wait for information about sentencing and all that to happen and come out. So sad news from West Louisiana there.
I could see it where there's no jail time. I could see it.
How?
You stay home and probation type thing. They'll probably think she's disgraced enough. I could see it.
Well, when you say that, I have seen judges talk about when a person is completely publicly shamed and disgraced, that is a significant penalty. I would assume there would have to be registration as a sex offender for at least 10 years. It goes on your record and that goes on your driver's license. So that's even more of a scarlet letter, so to speak. So,
I don't want to get into it too much. Just unbelievable story.
And for her children to be brought on the stand, I mean, there's a lot of people traumatized through that all the way around.
And you know DeRidder at all? Like, it's a super small town.
Not a whole lot, but if it's anything like, Ball, Pineville, everybody knows everybody.
It's more of like a Pineville.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Well,
I spent most of my childhood in DeRidder.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, my brother was born in DeRidder, oddly enough, 1968, back in the day. But we lived in Leesville. I don't know why they went to DeRidder instead of Bird. I mean, I was 3, so I didn't really have a choice.
DeRidder instead of Bird.
Not Bird. What's the hospital?
Bird Hospital? Oh, yeah. Okay, Leesville. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we lived in Leesville.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But he was born in DeRidder, so again, I thought
it was thinking of Bird High School in Shreveport.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, other interesting news, crawfish season is picking up, and people are happy to see that. Prices are dropping. But the big problem for some of the crawfish producers is they're having trouble finding work because apparently that was another industry where illegal aliens had infiltrated or been hired a lot. And so that is going to be, I don't know if that's going to affect the pricing. Pricing has dropped some, but.
What is it at now, average-wise?
Well, I don't know. Let me get my app out.
Isn't there a crawfish app?
I use the crawfish app. You don't use
I'm
the
gonna
crawfish
guess,
app?
No, I'm going to guess it's like 7.
I'm going to say it's in the 5
Oh, that's
range.
good.
Let's see here.
That's
Crawfish
talking
app.
my language now.
All right, so we're going for boiled crawfish. I'm going to find a crawfish near me. It's got my location. Okay, $5.49 a pound.
Oh, wow.
At Crawfish Port on Lee Street, $5.75 at Louisiana Gulf on 28 in Pineville, $5.99 at T Boogie's, and then it goes up from there.
I might have crawfish tonight.
$5.49 at Crawfish Port on Lee Street. Yep.
That's really good.
Well, that is good. I saw the Broom Tree is having a fundraiser next month, and they're selling, if I'm not mistaken, 5-pound sacks of boiled crawfish for $35. So that's $7 a pound, but it's a fundraiser. So you expect there to be a little bit over, right? That's not bad. So
I'm going to need you to buy some tickets for our Kiwanis crawfish party.
When's that coming up?
April.
Oh, well, the prices will be really good by then, right?
Well, it's like you buy tickets for stuff. It's like a whole shebang.
It's like yeah. So, hey, speaking of buying tickets, when is Dancing with the Stars?
That's another thing. We
don't tell me.
Wow, we've been our coach was kind of out of it with an issue for a week or two, and then my family's been out of it for nearly 2 weeks. And so we thought like a month ago at the practice we had scheduled a month ago, we were going to finish the routine.
Well,
we didn't do anything for a month. And so we're a week away.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't finish our routine. We just finished it last night. So we just learned the moves for the whole thing. And we bought the outfits. So it's going to be down to the wire.
Flu-induced moves.
It's going to be down to the wire.
And, so it's next week?
Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah. It's like ACDS or something.
Yeah.
.com or I can get it later. But it's going to be just try not to think about it too much.
You're welcome for bringing it up.
Yeah. No. It'll be fun, I guess. And it's easier for me because I don't think anyone should have any expectations of me doing well.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure I have the moves down so that I at least do the routine.
Embarrass yourself.
Like I'm not going to have good stage presence. I'm not going to be entertaining, at least in a good way.
You want all eyes on your wife.
Yes. Yeah. So I need her to really
of the show.
Start practicing.
So what kind of outfit did you buy?
It's going to be like a black silk shirt, black slacks, black shoes. And my wife has like, I don't even know what you call it. It's got like the confetti on it. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they call it.
I wish people could have seen the move you just made. That was great.
Where you shake it and it like flies around or something.
Yeah. It's very glittery, right?
Like a onesie thing or something.
Very pretty, very pretty. What color is hers?
I think blue and silver, maybe.
And you're all black?
Yeah.
Because you just want to fade in the background?
Yeah, well, that's what the dance teacher suggested. Stephanie Laborde at Steps by Stephanie. So, yeah. Okay. I know how it's going to go. So.
All right. Well, ACDS is where you want to be. Well, I have a conflict next Friday. I had planned to go, but it's next Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
Well, I really wanted to be there.
I'm sure you did.
But that's the first day of our 3-day weekend for our church's 50th anniversary. And we have Ben Waits in concert that night, Friday night.
Cool.
So
that'll be better than me dancing. No, you should buy a ticket. It goes for an amazing school, and it'll be a fun time. There's a lot of local people involved. There's 9 teams. So we got the lineup, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say what order we're going in, but we're the 5th team, so right in the middle.
Oh, that's not bad.
So I like the song though. At least our song is good. I just don't think I can say it.
Yeah, maybe you probably got to keep some.
But it's 80s, I think.
Of course, it's the good stuff.
Yeah.
CountryDay.school is the website. I'm not seeing the event on the front page there. Oh, here it is. Yeah. It's at the very bottom right-hand side. So CountryDay.school is the website. And you scroll down on the right-hand side at the bottom, You can actually also, well, it's a longer one, countryday.school/dancing-with-the-stars. I just
Well, hey, look, I'm a seasoned professional, right?
Yes, you are.
This is my second Dancing with the Stars. I might be the only guy who's ever done it twice.
Oh, that would be a nice feather in your cap.
And might say dumb to do it twice. Just dumb enough. No, it's a great event. It's one of those things that makes you very uncomfortable, and I try and do things that make me a little on edge. Besides, like jumping off cliffs or something, but just something like get out of your comfort zone and say you did it.
All right, so that's at the Randolph Riverfront Center, Friday, March the 13th. Go support Steve, or at least go Steven. I don't know where the Steve keeps coming from. Sorry about that.
It happened.
But go enjoy.
Well, I'm kind of getting older. Steve might be good. No, I like Steve.
Steve Maxwell.
I want people to say an extra syllable.
Steven Maxwell. I'm going to talk to you about somebody else who called your name this week when we come back with more on Talkback.
KSYL.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter. At the clinics, your health is our priority. Whether it's a
With Steven and Nathan.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
One reason I'm glad to have Steven back is he's like our ambassador to the next generation and the younger generation and the ones that are going to soon be in complete control of this place. And so I had a question before y'all got on to anything else for Steven, because I know you talk a lot about affordability, which you're in that phase of your life where you're struggling to afford things and you're wanting to make a quality life for those that God has given you. And that's noble, that's good, that's normal. That impetus is what drives our country to the prosperity levels it has achieved. And so that's a good thing. But do you see among people around your age, before that they really are just silly, but among people your age, an understanding, as they confront that problem, affordability. 5-6 short years ago, everything was on the upswing. Everything was looking great. The policies that the first Trump administration implemented was causing everything to boom. I know on my route, we could see when businesses are booming. I started driving in 85 with the Reagan boom, and Lee Street Extension had a business in every facility. Now it's all just churches and stuff. And anyways, is there not an understanding that we had a shift in 2020, a radical shift in policies, in economic policy and domestic policy? And then we had record high inflation and everything, high prices, eggs, gas, all that stuff. Is there not an understanding that happened? Are they missing? Why isn't it not just like a light switch? Okay, we were doing this, it was working. Then we started doing that, it didn't work. Let's just go back to this. Is there not that understanding among people your age, or what do you see?
I don't know how many of my friends my age are really politically involved, to be honest with you. So I don't know if that's a normal conversation. Better. I think a lot of people think that when you shut down the economy during the pandemic, of course, it's going to cause what we kind of been dealing with and the lingering effects of it. because it just doesn't bounce back, right? And I think that's why Trump got elected for the most part, is because they believe that, hey, whenever he was president last time, we could afford things. Under Biden, we couldn't afford things, so let's give it a shot again. And I think some people have an unrealistic expectation with the economy too, where you just flip a switch and it changes overnight. So there might be some people in parts of the country that are really upset that it hasn't come to fruition yet. Maybe there are some that are like, okay, let's give things time, and sometimes the fruit of those labors can come even after administration. But I think a lot of people think it's just when you shut down the economy because of the pandemic, no matter who it is, it's gonna wreak havoc.
Well, that's true, and we've never seen anything like that before. But Biden had the chance, had he just let things go back to the way they were before, to pick up where we left off, because the rest of the world has shut down too. It wasn't just us. So among your friends that you say are less political, I mean, you are probably the most political among your little group. I don't
really have any left-wing friends, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the ones that just aren't political at all, are they thinking, I mean, do they vote?
Oh, yeah.
Do they just, okay, so they vote, but they don't watch the news like we do. Daily and yeah.
Like the the big social media stuff. So, yeah. Like I have some friends who be like, oh, did you see the latest with the war? Did you see the latest with the Epstein or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're living their life.
Well, we're trying to take care of kids and go to work and it's super busy.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
But so those people, do you think they have an understanding that there's two parties? I mean, we have two parties and there's two choices. And I mean, the midterms are coming up like a freight train. How do you think your age group is going to vote? And I'm not going to hold you to it. You're our ambassador from that group.
Louisiana, I think they're not going to really have a viable Democrat candidate anyway. So most people are probably still going to vote Republican and be like, well, we're not getting everything we want, but that's just is what it is. Other parts of the country, I could see Gen Z and millennials probably look for something else. I don't know. It's a tough one. I think people vote on the economy most of the time, and that's just my narrow view of things. And I think that's the way it's going to go. And I think you see that in those cities like New York, who are completely different than we are here, right? In Seattle, where they voted for an actual socialist because affordability is their number one concern. Is that going to work? Me and you were probably going to say no, right? But that's just their number one factor.
Are they going that way because they do not have any knowledge of what came before us? Or
probably, and you have to look at it like this. Well, you have to look at it like this too, because we grew up. Yeah, I heard Al and Nathan talking yesterday, the day before, about how Gen Xers, that's what y'all are, Gen Xers, and we grew up as latchkey kids, and we learned the hard things in life and this and that, and we grew what we have now. And millennials kind of did too. Like we kind of grew up before this rampant upswing of technology, right?
Right.
Like we kind of lived outside and did all those things too. That's how I grew up. But I think we were sold a bunch of things when we were going through school and the college system. Take these loans, do these things, go to college, do this route. You're going to have the house and the car and maybe you'll have a swimming pool or a boat. You'll be able to boat and you'll be able to afford these different things and not have a problem if you just get the education and do these things right. But now we're at a point now, which because of inflation and the pandemic, I think ruined the economy. Excuse me 1 second. That we're not able to do those things. Buying a house is very difficult because necessities have gone up exponentially. So a lot of people around the country, I think, feel like they were sold a bill of goods they just can't achieve. Like it's just not going to happen, and it's not getting better in their eyes. So sometimes ignorantly, I think people just say, let's throw out the whole system and try something new. And maybe they need a history lesson, or maybe we have become more of a corporation in America and things could go in a different direction. I don't think we need to swing to socialism, of course. That's my opinion. But it's just, I feel like we were sold something that we can't achieve. I don't get bitter about it. I have a really good life. I'm very blessed and I'm thankful for it. But I think that's how a lot of people feel across the country.
I think you're right. It means more to me hearing somebody your age saying it. So, okay, thanks for letting us tap into your mind. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Always good hearing from you. 318-442-8255. The number. Need to take a break. We'll come back with the final segment before Matt Ritchie joins us at 8 o'clock right here on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Well, the phone lines are lit. Let's go to them. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Stephen for the piece that he did on Dr. Corral with his upcoming retirement.
Oh, thank you.
We are sad to see him go, but it was a great piece, and the future looks bright. We got good things going on at OSUA.
Oh, well, thank you. And he is, I texted him too when I heard about it. It's like one of the best in-laws ever had. And hate to see him go, but I'm glad he's going to get to live his best life too.
Absolutely. Just wanted to say thanks. Y'all have a great day.
What a nice call. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Well, I really wasn't going to talk about Dr. Corral, but did you know that his initial job with LSU was as a fisheries extension agent in Cameron Parish.
I did not. That's
pretty
cool.
But anyway, we go back a long way. I was going to call about the Patterson presentation at the Authors Club last night at Westside Library.
Yeah.
He spoke about his book about Huey Long. And Huey Long, basically, if you look at it from unless jaundiced eye, probably was one of the more, I don't say progressive, but at least enthusiastic promoter of good ideas. Now, was he a good guy necessarily? Maybe not. But Patterson's book is something that is certainly something that people ought to consider in evaluating Huey's legacy. One of Huey's legacies, or one of his ways he controlled things, was to be in charge of all the boards, so to speak, to have his fingers in everything. And I noticed that having a friendly junior U.S. senator might be one way for the current governor to maybe follow in Huey's footsteps.
That would be very interesting. The long legacy continues. Did Mr. Patterson give any indication of his thoughts, what the future could have been like had he not been assassinated?
Not really, and I don't guess anybody even thought to ask him, but he did point out that basically most of Huey's good ideas eventually became adopted.
I feel like I've been hearing so much more about Huey P. lately. Like the past couple months, it just keeps getting brought back up.
Well, I mean, the new book, and it looks at him from a different light, from a more friendly light. Now, did he throw his weight around and knuckle people under and this, that, and the other? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to check out the book, I guess.
Well, the music has started, which means we got to wrap up this hour. Thank you. Appreciate your call. Sure. That insight. Wish I could have made it last night, but sounds like a good one. The Authors Club is a great place to participate, be a part of. Stick around. Matt Ritchie with the Simla Economic Update coming up after the news right here on Talkback.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The conflict broadens in the Middle East. Eyewitness video shows explosions hitting western Iran with flames and black smoke billowing over the skyline. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman begins our coverage from Tel Aviv.
What we're seeing is a sort of race against the clock. The U.S. and Israel are trying to wipe out Iran's missile capacity before they run out of missile interceptors, without which the city behind me would likely be smoldering. And while Iran is trying to conserve its stockpile in anticipation of a longer war.
Iran has launched a new wave of attacks against Israel, American military bases, and countries across the region. Robert Berger reports from Jerusalem.
We've continued to have air raid alerts throughout the day here, but it's much more sparse. The missiles coming in are much more sparse than they have been. Maybe one missile at a time, maybe two. But people are still running to bomb shelters. But because it's sparse, and these missiles are being knocked down by Israeli defensives, the all clear is announced a short time later.
Turkey's issued a strong condemnation after 2 Iranian drones fell on Azerbaijan today. Politico reporting the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is telling advisors to come up with ways to lower gas prices that have been climbing since the war began. According to AAA, they're up another few cents. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
We are now up over 24 cents from where we were over the weekend.
The average price per gallon nationwide today, $3.25. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez now acknowledges he had an affair with a former staffer before she died by suicide.
Hours after the House Ethics Committee announced it would investigate whether Gonzalez engaged in sexual misconduct, the Republican told conservative radio host Joe Pags,
I made a mistake. and I had a lapse in judgment.
Gonzalez did not discuss his relationship with former staffer Regina Santos Aviles, who took her own life last year, but said he had nothing to do with her death. Gonzalez's GOP primary runoff opponent, Brandon Herrera, posted on X, quote, "Is there anyone left who still trusts this now objectively proven liar?" Michael Wallace, CBS News.
An explosion at a cocoa butter plant near Philadelphia. Police say 4 people are in critical condition after the blast. Logan Township, New Jersey, Police Chief Joe Flatley.
We empathize with those that were involved, and the community is safe. There are no ongoing hazards. The air quality is continuing to be monitored to confirm that.
No word on the cause. The business processes cocoa butter for the chocolate industry. Dow futures down 280. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here. Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring. Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now. JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet. Just a couple things, huh? Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
A dozen defendants caught up in an investigation into rigged poker games, allegedly involving NBA figures and mafia members, may be set to reach plea agreements.
Prosecutors say the formal plea deals for the 12 will be entered in the coming days. 9 other defendants are still in discussions about possible plea agreements. All 31 in the case, including NBA Hall of Famer turned coach Chauncey Billups and former player Damon Jones, had an appearance yesterday in federal court. Billups is apparently not among those expected to take a plea deal. The defendants were arrested during a sweeping FBI crackdown on alleged illegal gambling schemes involving poker games and sports betting back in October. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
We're just learning a Marine veteran and North Carolina Senate candidate who was protesting the war in Iran during a Senate subcommittee hearing had his arm broken while he was being removed. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. A New Orleans area representative wants to make it a lot easier to cancel automatic renewal trial subscriptions. Here's Colleen Crane.
It's easy to sign up for a free trial subscription. Canceling it before your card gets charged, that's another story. Besides going on a hunt for the cancel link, Gretna Republican Vincent Cox says the terms are very hard to understand, especially in radio commercials.
It speeds up and the voice is going so fast. That's where they're saying this is an automatic renewal subscription, blah, blah, blah. It just goes too fast. You don't even know what's happening.
So his click to cancel bill will establish certain standards, including a minimum font size for terms and conditions and for those to be read at a normal speed and volume in radio ads. I'm Colleen Crane.
A magnitude 4.4 earthquake hit Red River Parish early this morning. According to the United States Geological Survey, the seismic event was recorded just before 5:30. Its epicenter located approximately 4 miles northwest of Edgefield. This event is the latest in a series of small earthquakes to hit the region. LRN. BBC producer Shintech Louisiana is investing $3.4 billion to expand its Iberville Parish operations. It's expected to add 800 new job opportunities to the capital region, and the expansion will introduce advanced lower-emission manufacturing technology, which Shintech says will strengthen Louisiana's role in global PVC production. Iberville Parish President Chris Daigle says Shintech's made a big impact on this area for 26 years now.
They ship and export products across the globe. So for them to be housed right here in the capital region, south of Baton Rouge, right here in Iberville Parish, is a direct link to the global market.
Louisiana Agriculture Commissioner Mike Strain says the state's crawfish industry is dealing with a significant labor shortage. Strain telling state lawmakers that crawfish processing plants don't have enough workers to peel and package crawfish because the federal government has put a cap on foreign guest workers.
I'm a bit frustrated from the answers I'm getting from Washington because they're basically saying they've met the cap. There's nothing else we can do. I said, no, that's unacceptable.
LRN.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Good morning, cloudy skies. Starting us out on this Thursday with skies becoming partly cloudy later on today, something like what we saw yesterday. Afternoon highs near 84 degrees. We'll see winds out of the south-southeast at 5 to 10. Partly cloudy this evening, and then after midnight, cloudy skies with the possibility of fog again, 66 the overnight low. And I got to tell you, it looks like more of the same in store for us on Friday. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Talk Back. And Matt Ritchie is in the studio. We're so excited to have him here today. It's a little bit of an abbreviated. He's going to leave at the 8:50 break to head over to the STAR Committee. We'll get him to share with us about that a little bit. But, Matt, thank you for flying in to be with us this morning.
Literally. I'll tell you. All right, we good now? Okay,
yeah, we're good. My bad.
Well, first of all, thank you for accommodating my schedule this week. I know it's Thursday and not Tuesday, but it's great to be here.
It feels like Tuesday because it's the three of us.
It does. It does. And so we had a already just jam-packed week already. I had a great opportunity. Representative Johnson asked me to be the guest speaker at the North Rapids Business and Industry Alliance meeting on Monday. Literally, I jumped out of that meeting and I went and got on a plane to South Carolina and spent Tuesday and half day yesterday in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, too, by the way, which I had not been to.
Charlotte.
So well, it was Columbia, South Carolina, capital of South Carolina. Neat little town. Really, really, really cool little town. So I will talk about that later. But, yeah, so now got back yesterday afternoon, and now we got jumping into the show this morning. Got a lot to talk about. We've got several big deals to talk about. We've got some other things going on. And I'm going to jump on in. Do we have a call?
No, they dropped off. I told you they were there, but then they dropped off as soon as they probably heard your name. They're like, "Oh, I didn't have a question for him." Well, but if you do have a question for Matt, 318-442-8255.
Yeah,
be on my line.
Give us a call, and but we do have some good things to talk about. Let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Everybody ask about when's Pineville going to get a Chick-fil-A.
That's what we want to know.
And here's good news: Chick-fil-A, when they test markets out. They'll generally go in and they'll just do like a little pop-up, tent with a little trailer and serve primarily chicken sandwiches. And don't have a full menu, but they'll bring some of their items and they want to go see, just go test the market. Well, a little birdie told me, and I say little birdie, I was talking to the mayor this morning, Mayor Bishop, and I were talking earlier, and he said that he has learned that they are going to be on Highway 28 East next week.
Yeah.
So he,
I saw they had a pop-up at Security too.
At Security
Sporting Goods. They've done that a couple of times. Yeah. But I actually had a contact from Chick-fil-A about 10 days ago, asked me for a location on 28 where they could do a pop-up. So
my understanding is going to be in front of Max Grocery.
That's exactly where I referred them to go to because Shane has been very congenial. And if you recall, they did that about 2 or 3 years ago,
right?
But it was the mall store that did that. And my understanding was it was a not approved by Atlanta pop-up, and so it got shut down. But this one, I think, may be.
I believe this is the real corporate store, really investigating, looking to see where the right place to be in Pineville is, which is super exciting. And I know Shane at McDaniel with Max Grocery. I know that's one of the franchises. They've been approached. They're approached regularly this way. I've actually approached them with concepts. I've had both users want to be out in front of their parking lot because they have one of the last really true, really good Highway 28 East frontage locations in front of their parking lot. But once they give that up, once they either do a ground lease or they sell that track, it's no more. And
Shane has told me he's intentionally not done that because he likes to keep it for the nonprofits and all those people that, the Lions Club sharing trees and all that, the people doing food stuff. But Chick-fil-A might sweeten the pot.
Well, and that's what I say. I think that's one of maybe one or two or three concepts that he shared with me as well, that he would probably, because it'd be such a traffic generator, not only to his grocery store, but it could be a win-win for everybody.
I'm sorry, in like a lay business person's brain like me, like I couldn't imagine a world where they wouldn't want to put a restaurant in Pineville. Like that place would be nonstop.
You talking about Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. And look. I had been working on canes. Let me tell you how long I'd been working on raising canes. Do you remember the Hickory Hut right across the street from this Max grocery location? It's now
O'Reilly's.
It's now O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Okay.
But that was Hickory Hut for 35, 40 years.
Mac Adams Hickory Hut.
Yeah, and then so, matter of fact, Keith Fountain and I bought that corner in 2005 with the intention of trying to put a Cane's there or some other quick serve restaurant. Well, we ended up leasing it to a car lot for a few years, and then Burger King needed to move, and then I sold that lot to Burger King. And then Burger King decided, you know what, I really want to be on the other side of the street. So then actually I went and bought the old Garden District Plaza, little strip center there, tore one of the buildings down and sold Burger King that lot. And that's how we got Burger King landed on that lot. And then the Burger King guy sold the lot to the O'Reilly's fellow. So that's how that whole deal worked out.
Cool.
But so long story short, so we were trying to get Cane's there for a long time. So we obviously obviously Cane's went to 28. Not 28, but Cane's Country, 165 in front of the OK Mart, which we see all that starting to develop out now.
I don't think Cane's would have fit there as far as
in today's world with double drive-throughs and all that. Yeah, no, that they wouldn't have. And so it may have been too early, but that was our speculation. That was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about that. Wow. And so anyway, all our Chick-fil-A fans, one of the things that they do, they test these markets because they really want to just see what normal traffic patterns will do, and if somebody's there, how many sandwiches can we sell? And they have some metrics. I have no idea if they need to sell 100 chicken sandwiches or if they need to sell 1,000 chicken sandwiches. I don't know, but they have some metrics. If they sell so many chicken sandwiches randomly on so many different days, on this day, maybe a Monday or Thursday, that's a good place for a store.
So here's what I would say. I shared a picture of the pop-up 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was they did it, on Facebook. By far, my most shared post, thousands of times that post was shared. And so what I hear you saying is, Pineville people, if you want Chick-fil-A, when you see the pop-up, show up.
Exactly. That's a good way to say it.
Buy one for grandma and auntie and cousin. Buy them out every single day, because if you want it, they might come.
That's exactly.
And that's a great fit for Shane and his family and their business model. They're really a wholesome company. They don't sell alcohol. They've made choices that probably have hurt them financially, but to be family centric. And Chick-fil-A is a natural partner for somebody like that.
That's God's chicken right there.
Closed on Sunday. They promote wholesomeness.
Yeah, absolutely fits the family. Yeah. So, interesting, right around the corner from there, and I actually had...
I was about to say, I know another little spot around the corner.
Well, yeah, just in case that spot doesn't work. But no, they would never...
Yeah, they want to be...
Chick-fil-A would never go to Edgewood Drive.
Yeah.
They would never, even though you see a big lot, if anybody's driven down Edgewood Drive in the last 2 weeks, you're going to see a 2.8-acre tract of land being cleared right next to Ace Hardware. Across the street on the side entrance of Max Grocery and Max Center, that's a 2.8-acre tract. It's actually a piece that I bought. It was Tommy Sauvé. Those that own that are familiar with Southern Classic, not Southern Classic, Southern Creations. Southern Creations is the restaurant where the old Lee J's used to be, right there at the foot of the bridge.
Caterer.
They have a great lunch menu, buffet every day, and they also do catering for a lot of organizations. Do a really, really good job. Jason Sauvé runs the business now, but that was Tommy's home place. And I knew Tommy and his sister owned the property because I'd been trying to buy it literally since 2012.
Wow.
I had this vision that that lot could ever be available, if that lot could ever be cleared and move some dirt around, make it level, make it developable, I think it would be a good retail spot.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it wouldn't be a Chick-fil-A spot,
right, it
would be a spot for some other retail user who wants to be in that cluster of traffic right there. So it took us 15 years, but we finally made it. We finally got it done, and I didn't really want to waste any time, and so we closed a few weeks ago and had the machines out there, and so. Been a lot of chatter about what's going on there. I truly don't have anything planned there. I'm truly just trying to get it develop it ready for a user.
What do you want to see? What do you think?
Well, what I would like to see personally, if I had my perfect world, I'd like to see a national brand, maybe store of some sort that wants to be there, that maybe doesn't want to own the real estate but want to lease it, and they like the location, and they let me build them a store and rent it to them. That's what I'd like to do. That'd be a perfect world situation.
What type of industry of retail do you think would fit there?
Unfortunately, I know it's not what everybody wants to hear, but it would be a Dollar Tree.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Something like that.
The Dollar General's right across the street, leasing from Shane.
They are, and I'd hate to pull them out of there, but right. I think they've actually got a lease with them, but I do know that there are some concepts, which is why I'm rolling the dice a little bit. Sure. I've got there's some concepts that want to be in Pineville that have expressed interest on 28 East. There's not very many locations with Highway 28 East frontage available, right. But that being that close to 28 and in the cluster, it might work for them. So, and if not, it could be a good local restaurant site. Once again, a national chain or casual dining, sit down and whatnot. Probably wouldn't go there,
mm-hmm.
But
Mexican.
but maybe some other users, local users who see that as a really good spot would like it.
And the access to the red light at Edgewood and 28 is the game changer for that, versus some other spots that, maybe off, one site off of a corner
right.
isn't as attractive. But there's a super busy red light there, that easy in, easy out.
There is. And
but I have a question, and I didn't ask it at North Rapides because I had to leave quickly when it was over with. But this is of critical importance. Will Kathy's Frigid Frog trailer still be there this summer?
That is that's a tough one.
My daughter needs to know the answer to this question.
She said she was moving.
Well, yeah. So let me just give you the go ahead. I'll rip the Band-Aid.
Break her heart.
Rip the Band-Aid. It's not going to be there.
Okay.
It's not going to be there. As much as I would like to have salvaged that,
right?
We weren't going to be able to salvage, or wait on the dirt, doing the site work.
Sure.
To be able to salvage that site. So I did offer her because I own a lot just up the street across from the car wash. I offered her
just up the street across from the car on Edgewood. Okay,
yeah, on Edgewood. It was up Edgewood, mm-hmm. And it was an old house there. We're actually about to tear it down.
Yeah,
and so, but she said it wasn't going to work for her. So I did try to keep her close. That where she was just wasn't there.
Well, she's done a lot of business. You said she's announced she's moving?
Main Street.
Oh, she's going to Main Street.
If I'm thinking of the right one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I know she was actively looking because she wanted to be open for March.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to make that happen for her, but we just couldn't do it.
We've been loyal customers for years there in King Kong. We kind of alternate back and forth.
Yeah. 832 Main Street.
Oh, well, good.
So where they tore down Shamrock. Close to that, huh?
832. That's so the City Hall is 910 and Jorge's mural is 705. So it's in between there.
So it would have to be between Shamrock and Reagan Street. It'd be maybe it's in the parking lot across from the DMV.
Yeah,
that's what I think it is.
That
that's
corner, maybe that corner there. The church had.
I'm getting the street maps.
Yeah, but what was the number? 832. So it's an even number. So it's on the City Hall side. Okay, yeah, right there. Used to be a old gas station. Then it was a handy
where Dick's Bait Stand.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
okay, well, very good. All right, we got to take our break. Matt's got sheets of paper.
When we come back, we got two large $1 million transactions we'll talk about.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Turn it up loud. KCMC rocks Central Louisiana with the rock and roll legends you know and love and the loudest guitars of all time. Classic rock that never quits can only be found on KCMC, another Simla broadcasting station.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back. I got the Welcome Back Cotter song on my head. Matt Ritchie, we welcome you back. And man, you said you got a couple of $1 million deals.
I do. And I'm going to be reporting. I report on 2 weeks worth of activities typically. So I'm reporting on February 16th through February 28th activity. And so we had a $2 million land sale out off of Highway 71. And from what I could tell.
North or south?
The south.
South, okay.
Out by LSUA.
Okay.
It was about a 25-acre sale. And it's, from what I could tell, it's the property located on the corner of LSUA Cutoff Road and Highway 71 South. That's basically based off of the legal description that I read and the quick research that I did. So that was Alexandria Solar LLC sells to Cook 5 LLC. Both Alexandria residents and locations of those LLCs. So that's going to be exciting to see what happens. I mean, that's not when you pay $2 million for land, you typically have a use for it, and you're not speculating. But it's interesting because the buyer, who I believe I know who the buyer is, that I didn't know that he would be that speculative. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see. But that was a $2 million sale, about 25 acres. My assumption, maybe he's got some things going on with maybe some speculative ideas with the college there. So second largest sale of the last 2 weeks of February was the Reserve at North Park LLC. That was a group out of Karen Crow. Sells to D.R. Horton. Matter of fact, I knew that deal was working. I actually sold. It was a 20-acre tract of land on North Bolton. And this is going to be an extension of the North Park subdivision that was started about 23 years ago by Reagan Nelson, right there off of North Bolton. And they're supposed to have a 100-lot subdivision there. And D.R. Horton, for the folks who may or may not be familiar with them, they're a national home builder. They build a couple 100,000 homes a year, not only in Louisiana, but obviously across the country. And they've been in the Alexandria area for about 5 years now. And
is some of the stigma gone?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's still there. I think people have it stuck in their mind. And I don't know that anybody in my office has ever sold a D.R. Horton home. They do a lot of their own, internal marketing. They have their own lenders. They offer their own financing. They'll offer, they'll offer commission to a buyer's agent out there. But the only subdivision they've done, full subdivision that they've done, is the
Old Town
over off of Bayou Rapides, across from Country Day School. And now this is a new development. So the way their business model works is D.R. Horton will ask developers who they've got relationships with and say, look, we want to be in this market. Bring us the deal. And we have oversight of the whole deal. Even though we don't have any control of it, we're going to end up being the end buyer. You go out and acquire the land. You go out there and do all the permitting and fight all the zoning fights. And you go do all the legwork. and we just come in and build our houses. And we'll build all the lots, and they go ahead and pre-negotiate a pre-purchase price on lot land, on the whole deal, turnkey. And so they just bought lots 5 through 50 at Reserve at North Park, Phase 1, for $1,596,000. And so that was a pre-negotiated deal. Actually, matter of fact, this land sold a year and a half ago, so it's taken them a year and a half to go through the process, get the roads built, get the land, get the land cleared, get all the permits and all the regulatory process out of the way. And now you'll see homes start going up there pretty quick, I'm assuming, now that they've actually closed on the lots.
Well, I'm trying to place that. How big an acreage is that?
It was a 20-acre tract. It was, so if you're looking for it, Nathan, it's on the corner, right off the corner of Enterprise Road and North Bolton.
Oh, so it's back closer to town than what Reagan Nelson had done.
It's coming back into town from Reagan. So there's a Dollar General there on that corner, and there's an entranceway right behind the Dollar General store. And so I know it was designed originally to have an entrance and exit egress off of Enterprise Road, and you could still get through the North Park subdivision. So those are two. That's $3.6 million worth of land sales just here in the last 2 weeks. So that's encouraging for new development. I talk about it often. There's no local developers building $250,000 new construction homes. Whether someone believes that whether they believe that the construction quality is there or not, I don't know. But I can tell you that they continue to build homes. They continue to sell them. Matter of fact, I'll talk about a couple of deals when we're going over new construction homes that they have actually sold. They've sold another 2 homes in the last 2 weeks. Another land sale, which is a commercial land sale, D&J Investments of Cenla sells to Floyd Hamilton a 4-acre tract off of Willow Glen Road off Eddie Williams Boulevard, about $125,000 sale. So congratulations to both of them for that. Getting into some commercial sales, the used cars. Car Center, LLC, sells to Pawpaw's Used Cars on 1816 Lee Street. And so if you're driving by that little car lot there, that's what $150,000 looks like, because that was a $150,000 sale, lot 2, square 82 of Kilpatrick subdivision. And so, those, the car lots are, because there's certain zoning, car lots, people don't think about that, but, even though there's multiple zoning classifications in City of Alexandria, City of Pineville, there's a certain designation to be to sell auto parts. So when you're looking, if you're in the car business and you're in the city limits, you have to be aware of what your zoning is. And so that makes sense for car lots to buy car lots.
Yeah, it used to be Bolton Avenue and Lee Street were just chock-a-block full. There's only a few left. I think, so many have moved out. But when I was younger, you were looking for you could spend a whole day on those 2
just
streets.
Going down,
and just hit every single one of them, find what you wanted. So Pawpaw's has been around for a long time. They've I think 20, 30 years. They're not an up and comer. They're a new. They're an established group.
So this is either a second location for them or an addition to them.
We had a text came in about, you were talking about 28 earlier.
Yeah.
The question was, are there any plans for a loop to relieve 28 East traffic? And maybe we can answer that when we come back from this break.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, back with more with Matt Ritchie right after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Crude reality today on Wall Street. Crude oil futures are rising, and that's putting some pressure on stocks in the early going as investors look at all the headlines coming, indicating we could see a widening war potentially in the Middle East. Job cuts on Wall Street. Morgan Stanley cutting about 3% of its workforce in investment banking, trading, and wealth and asset management operations. And also on Wall Street, weekly jobless claims coming in a little lighter than expected. Grocer Kroger running into some trouble and offering a soft forecast for the full year. StubHub out with a disappointing result. That's without a Taylor Swift tour to boost sales this time around. Shares of Broadcom are gaining, though, the chipmaker posting first quarter results that beat expectations, thanks in part to AI revenue. Target cutting employee bonuses for a second straight year on weaker than hoped for sales. And Victoria's Secret bouncing back from a prolonged slump as it sees revived demand for bras and its Pink brand catering to younger consumers. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Good morning, cloudy skies. Starting us out on this Thursday with skies becoming partly cloudy later on today, something like what we saw yesterday. Afternoon highs near 84 degrees. We'll see winds out of the south-southeast at 5 to 10. Partly cloudy this evening, and then after midnight, cloudy skies with the possibility of fog again. 66 the overnight low. And I got to tell you, it looks like more of the same in store for us on Friday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. Matt Ritchie in the house. We were talking about a loop off air. Can't replicate all the conversation, but you understand the question.
Yeah,
to alleviate 28 East traffic.
I do, and I think I don't think that that's in our cards and anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think it if anything were to ever happen with that, it would probably be tied into the I-14 project that's going to be coming in from East Texas, coming through Alexandria on the way through Natchez.
Yeah.
And so there's so many different routes that could end up going, because if they took the Highway 28 East route, if you think about widening that and the businesses it's going to absorb, now it would be wonderful, to be able to come through there. But I don't know what that looks like. And because obviously, as the crow flies, like if depending on where it would come, if I-14 came through England Air Park or that north part of Alexandria, really, when you start crossing the river, if there was a new bridge built for that interstate, you're actually getting into Grant Parish. And then, but when because I just did it yesterday. I just flew in from Atlanta. So when you're coming in from Atlanta, and you're coming from the north and coming down into the airport, I mean, you're crossing over, you're coming right over Colfax, and you're meeting actually, what they call Texaco Town, at Highway 28 East and 84 right there.
It makes that T, yeah.
It makes that T. You're coming through there because you're passing Arto Lake, Catahoula Lake, and you're just making that beeline, straight line towards the airport. That's really where that's actually, if you looked at the most direct route. So I could see where if it came in from the north side of Alexandria, it might hit 28 at that point. Who knows? I'm just completely speculating here. I know we have a Beltway Commission. You know more about our Beltway Commission than I do.
I'm not on it, but I've attended a couple of their meetings.
Right.
And they're big promoters of it. It's a South Side Loop and a North Side Loop. And they propose going through Air Force Base, England Air Park, and then crossing there on the south side, Sugar House Road, crossing there. I don't see, outside of what you're saying, and I-14 coming through, we know the cost of putting a bridge across. You're in the $150 million probably now to put a bridge across the river.
Because OK Island was an $80 million project, and that was, has it been 10 years already? Almost, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
2014, wasn't it?
That's about right.
Yeah.
So that was $80 million. And so that bridge today, if it were going to be constructed today, I would imagine would be almost double, like you said. It would be in a very, very expensive project. So, and that's just to build a bridge over the river. So to build two bridges over the river, to have a big full loop, we'd have to have the right congressman.
Well, somebody suggested to me recently, the military component of that I-14 is huge because it connects all the military bases from Texas all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. If they said the right person getting in front of Donald J. Trump proposing the Donald J. Trump military throughway or whatever for that, the defensive posturing might garner his support. But you got to name it Donald J. Trump, military whatever. So,
well, if we got, and we talked about that on the lunch, infrastructure is the only way we're ever going to see any other major growth in our area. It is what it is. Because a lot of our infrastructure is maxed out.
Right.
And unless we have more infrastructure pumped in our Alexandria, into Pineville, into all of our local communities, into Rapides Parish and all of Central Louisiana, we're limited on growth.
You pointed out at the meeting the single reason South Grant is growing is because sewer was brought in.
That's it.
And when sewer stops, development stops.
And you think about where sewer stops in the Kings Country area of Pineville. So all that has sewer. You start going north. Well, Ball has sewer. So if you go 165 Ball, and that's why Ball has developed out.
Right.
But if you go north, going towards Tioga, you don't have a whole lot of development because there's no sewer there.
Right.
But so what's going to happen is you're going to end up having, so once you hit Creola right there at Marlar Ford, that's when the sewer starts. And so you'll start seeing that develop. Right. You're going to see this whole gap between Creola and Kings Country of really not, still just kind of scattered 1 acre type deal subdivisions because you don't have any municipal sewer. And you certainly won't see much commercial development out there. So you will. So that will happen. And we talked about how it takes, once you do infrastructure, it's a lot of times you do it's a 5 to 7 up to 10 year lag of actually growth of actually when you start seeing things happening. But look, we just talked about it's been 21 years since we since the Hickory Hut was at and that we were trying to get Canes on. It took us almost 16 years to get Canes to Pineville.
Do you remember the fight to make a turn lane down 28 in Pineville?
I do, and still it worked, but good boy, it's skinny through there. It is real skinny. You got to watch what you're doing going down 28 East right now.
Yeah. My life's dream, which I know is never going to happen, is a turning lane on Jackson extension. That would be the greatest thing ever.
The lanes between Hill Street and Texas, or Hill Street and Jackson, Hill Street and MacArthur on Jackson are so narrow right now.
They're narrow.
It's scary to drive.
Yeah.
Now, once you get to Jackson out, the extension, they're a little bit wider, but I don't see how.
There's no way.
Without buying up significant amounts of property on either side.
Yeah.
Once again, it costs money, right of ways, and it's widening and it's infrastructure. So, we're until we get real major dollars to improve our infrastructure, and then everybody wants it in their town, right? Everybody wants it on their. Not only does Alexandria, Pineville, Woodworth, Ball, all the communities want it.
Yeah.
Then they're fighting for their part. Then when you get into the towns, well, I want it on this part of town and not that part of town, and so it's just it's an ongoing debate.
Yeah, we have one segment left with you because you're going to leave at 8:50.
Are we getting that close?
Believe it or not, we're at 8:40.
Oh my goodness, we got other sales to talk about. So let's take a break and we'll come back.
KSYL. Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not so wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
Hi, I'm Rhett with Entergy Louisiana, and I'm a customer too. I'm proud to say that our rates are 33% below the national average. Every day, our team is focused on keeping costs lower for you. We take affordability personally because this is our home too. So we work harder and smarter to fight rising costs while also improving reliability for years to come. This isn't just my job, it's a commitment to my community. Together, we power life. Entergy.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, the final segment with Matt Ritchie, where he's got 14 pages to go in 7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, so some more commercial sales to talk about. We had the Louisiana Capital Investors, Inc., which is a company based out of right here in Alexandria, sell to Jackson Street Plaza, LLC, which is another Alexandria-based company, 737 MacArthur Drive. So I'm like, okay, I know that block, and so I looked it up. It was Dairy Queen. So that was one of the, I don't know if it was the first Dairy Queen in Alexandria, but it's been there for a long, long time. It's one of their older models, but they're still serving and putting out really good blizzards and chicken fingers and steak fingers and gravy.
Love Dairy Queen.
and so that business has actually traded hand a couple of times over the last decade or so. But Jackson Street Plaza is a local LLC restaurant group who have multiple years. They have decades experience in the quick service restaurant. They do a really good job in their restaurant. So I'm sure they'll take it over and continue to run it and probably most likely improve it. So congratulations to both. That was a $550,000 sale, which I thought, that's not a real big lot that restaurant, when you really look at the size of that lot, it's not huge. And there's some common parking, that kind of thing, with adjacent landowners. And so anyway, that was a good sale. Congratulations to both of them. Quality Builders, Inc. is a local builder, one of the developers of Yorktown, which Yorktown was a medical office park that was built off Bayou Rapides, really off the corner of Hyman Lane and Bayou Rapides. There's a cluster of office buildings there, and so that was a 137 Yorktown Drive sells to another local investment company, Lot 5 Yorktown Medical Business Park, sells for a little over $800,000, $810,000. So I don't think that was a new build. My suspicion is that was one of the original developers built the building, was leasing it, and either sold it to the tenant or sold it to a new investor. So that was a little over $810,000 sale. 2 D.R. Horton sales. I'm going to report on one because one is actually in the Old Town subdivision that we just talked about. $252,000 sale, brand new home, sells to on Bexley Court, lot 2 of Old Town. But here's where you're going to start seeing them. D.R. Horton is now expanded. We just talked about the expansion that they did at North Park here in Alexandria, 100-lot subdivision. But they're also expanding to Woodworth. And they're doing a couple of little small projects in Woodworth, and they're doing a larger project in Woodworth. And so this is the first sale that I've seen of D.R. Horton in Woodworth, unless I've just missed it. But this is D.R. Horton, sells 4010 Cedar Bluff in Woodworth for lot 28 Cedar Bluff Estates. Sells for about $350,000, which that makes a little sense. It's probably a little bit bigger house. the lots are probably cost a little bit more in Woodworth. And so that makes sense. The difference between a $250,000 sale in town at Old Town, smaller house, sells $350,000 house in Woodworth, probably a little bit more square footage, a little bit bigger lot. Lot was more expensive. So you'll start seeing more of those homes in Woodworth sale. Now probably will be in that mid $300,000 range. Priceco Development, who was Ronnie Price, a long time investor, businessman in town, bought a little land. That's kind of his specialty. He buys lots and busts them up, usually in 3 or 4 times. And he bought some property off of Ryland Drive and Williams Lake Road and sold to CEP Construction, which those lots are restricted to new construction only, no mobile homes or anything like that. Sells that for about $32,500. So I'm sharing that because that's about a 1 acre tract out in the I say out in the country, outside the city limits, out in the parish. That's about what you would find 32,000 plus or minus is about what you're seeing 1 acre tract sell for out in the parish, where there is typically no zoning, and that's another thing. That's going to be talked about. I know at the STAR committee this morning, the difference between zoning inside the parish and zoning outside the parish. City of Alexandria has zoning. City of Pineville has zoning. Town of Ball has zoning. Woodworth has zoning. I don't know if any other municipality in the parish has zoning, but zoning, it's there for a reason. Yeah. It creates stability. It creates, people can depend on things. But when you get outside the parish, you go build a house, let's just say on a 10 acre tract of land out anywhere outside those city limits, there's no zoning out there. So you may be subject to planning commission rules, but you're not subject to whether, my neighbor's got to build a similar style house or builds a modular home next to me. You don't have those protections outside the city limits.
Or wants to have a used car lot.
Or sell tractor trailers or whatever. You don't have that. Wants to have a pig farm. Wants to have goats and chickens and have a farm. You don't have those protections. And so there's a difference between having that, right? Because like I live on 23 acres right in the middle in the city limits. I can't have and I've got thousands of trees on my property. If I want to burn a little small pile of limbs in my property, I can't do it because I live in the city limits.
Right.
If I see a raccoon or a possum that's in my yard, I can't do anything about that because I'm in the city limits. But I have to follow those rules. Right. But if I live outside the city limits, I can do whatever. I can burn. I can have a burn pile.
You can shoot the coyote.
I can shoot the coyote who's eating,
chickens.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can't. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
And that's a discussion that's going to be had, I believe, at the STAR committee today, and that I'm really the next break I'm going to have to take off and go run to. And if zoning is desired, which I think a lot of people live outside the city because they prefer not to have the zone.
Right.
That's a governance. That's a governance that the parish can put in place. But I think they'd get a lot of pushback on that.
Yeah, benefits and
you get benefits of living and in and out of the city.
Right.
So.
Well, what's the last big deal you want to tell us about?
Let's talk about.
Because you're right at your
time. We've got a whole list. We had several. Look, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 7 different investment properties sales, small investment properties. Property in Grundy Cooper sells for about $75,000. You can tell that was an investment deal. Duplex on Mansfield Boulevard sells for about $64,000. 2 homes right in Briarwood subdivision that were used as rentals. Actually, my friend Todd Morrow buys those. He buys them from Fred Ryland, and he's going to be renting those out as corporate rentals. We've got all the way down to a condo. The Cypress Point Lake District condominiums have been really, really good investments. The Whites built that years and years ago, and a lot of homeowners bought those originally. And now you're starting to see, investors really heavily invest because it's well maintained. As folks generally buy those things. I've noticed this in another subdivision called it was a condo subdivision off of Twin Bridges Road called Villa Rochelle. When they originally sold, they were sold as condos, and a lot of folks in the later on, later stages in their life who wanted to downsize bought them. Well, now that those are getting to be 15, 20 years old, those folks are either passing or going in a nursing home, and now you're starting to see I've seen a big turnover in those condo and townhome sales, Villa Rochelle, Grant Point condos in the Lake District, because the original owners are now moving on to there's other seasons of life.
Are they becoming leased rental properties?
And investors are buying them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I just looked at the time. I'm so thankful to be able to come in and share some things with y'all this morning. And I will be back on my regular third Tuesday of the month. So look forward to being back with you. And so I'm gonna get out of here.
Good deal. Well, Matt, take your way safely to Rapides Area Planning Commission, and we'll look forward to an update when you come back on the third Tuesday. Matt Ritchie, everybody, with Economic Update. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol. Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting central Louisiana back on the map.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back. Matt has left the building.
Just us now. You're left with us.
A la Elvis. So I've been reading up on Tellerico over in Texas. Interesting character, and won the Democratic nomination for their Senate race. Questions are arising over there is, will Baxter be convinced to drop out so that Conran can sail unopposed and not be damaged in a runoff? They're saying that Trump may ask back. It's Paxton, not Baxter. Paxton.
I was about to say, yeah.
And so interesting stuff over there. What you got on your mind? You said we had a lot to talk about.
Oh, I'm just saying the world's kind of doing what it does, you know. And
create gas prices. I was shocked.
Well, I'm super interested in the Tellerico case. Race there, because it's a different flavor of the Democrat Party. He's very Christian. He talks a lot about the Bible and Christian beliefs,
But he's also very left-leaning. For example, I read where he said he is not pro-abortion, he's pro-choice.
No.
And his justification was that Mary, the mother of Jesus, had the choice to, and so in his mind that most evangelicals are not going to agree with that. I mean, Catholics are not going to agree with that.
And that's what I'm curious is, like, some of this left-leaning Christianity, can that be something that's viable for the party in the future? But yeah, Texas is a big feat for him to win, but we will see. Paxton is riddled with controversy.
No doubt. Absolutely. And that's where I think the standard bearers for the Republican Party fear that he's got a better chance of losing to Tellerico than Conran because of all of the ethics complaints in the past, even though supposedly he's been cleared of everything, but there's that cloud hanging over his head.
And I mean, it just depends on the situation too. I think people maybe overlook some things, like Christianity, for example. Christians voting for Trump, they probably overlook some things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Sure.
So, he's very well spoken.
The question, though, becomes values. If he holds to left-leaning values, even though he appears to be almost has the appearance of a white conservative, so he's palatable from his appearance, but are people paying attention to the values? And if they are, then Tellerico, if Texas remains red, then no, he'll not be elected. But if it's a presentation factor, then he's got a better chance. Do you think people are still paying attention to core values?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It just depends on, I guess, which way the country's going, I think, in my opinion, I think it's going to be hard for Republicans to hold on to Congress in 2026, but we shall see. Who knows? There's a lot going to happen. But I think Texas is going to be hard anyway. I know it's a Democrat's fever dream, Is that the right word?
No, but let's not use
the other kind of drain.
Yeah, we won't use that one.
To flip Texas.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a huge deal for them. But he's the type of Democrat that I think would have a chance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, he does because of the packaging. But when you go and look at some of his comments, though, you know, for example, someone just texted this one into me as we're talking about him. Here's his quote: "God is non-binary. Our trans community needs abortion care too." I mean, these are statements. He is not centrist in any way. In fact, what's odd is he may be more left-leaning than Crockett was, even though Crockett had the appearance of being left, because if you see, you know, not the typical voter, but many folks will say, well, black woman, she's got to be extreme left. She actually was more moderate than Tellerico's positions were. So, yeah, Tellerico got the nomination, but he is not somebody to be passed off as being centrist or middle-leaning at all.
Yeah. And so we'll see what the voters of Texas think. And he's been kind of like a social media star in the political sphere for quite some time now, because he was a state legislator currently.
Several years, yeah.
And some of his speeches and I guess sermons, I don't know, have made their rounds on social medias for a couple of years now. And
I've had people say he's a pastor, but I haven't found that he pastored a church. I think he's got a divinity degree, but I don't know that he I'm subject to being wrong on that. But, you know, I think it's important to look at what he said over the years. You know, he's definitely going to pound the Christian nationalists as an enemy to his points of view. So,
and I think that's something that, especially in the South, the Democrat Party is really going to have to lean into to have a chance. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying that's what I think they have to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, the differentiation is going to be interesting as they make that case in Texas. I think a lot of eyes are on that. The early, of course, the runoff question on the Republican side, if it does have to go to a long runoff, you know, Tellerico's got the nomination, so all he's got to do is start campaigning, whereas on the Republican side, they're still beating each other up. And I think that's why folks are asking Trump to wade in and get somebody to bow out so they just don't beat each other up all the way to the fall primary.
And when I say these things, this isn't something that I want to see happen or what I politically believe in, but I think from a political standpoint, messaging, he's really honing in on the class warfare, you know, us against the billionaires. And I think that resonates with a lot of perturbed people across the country. Whether that's actually going to make a difference or not, or if that's the right thing to happen, you can make that determination yourself. But I think that's the messaging he's winning with at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think he's somebody that people need to take a good look at. He's got the Charlie Kirk look, you know, the young, white, clean cut. So that's going to appeal to some. But when you pull back the veneer, there may be substance underneath that's not palatable. Well, that wraps it up for Thursday, believe it or not. Tomorrow morning, Al and Steve, for the first time, I'm sure Al will have a good welcome back song of his own. Reunited and okay, maybe not. Yeah. All right, Stephen, thanks for coming in today. Glad you're feeling better. Look forward to your updates today.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.